Thank you. I want to thank Leah for having me today and all of her great work with the Gal's Guide to the Galaxy Library podcast, all that she does. So I'm a fan, that's for sure. And the Dean's Bible may have taken place at Purdue, but it's a book for all women, actually. So those 5 women handed down a secret Bible as their symbol of their profession as deans of women and deans of students and everything they did for women, students, and faculty. So anyway, so I'm really glad to be here. And I've titled my presentation, Wonder Woman and How Power Poses Can Change Your Life. So I think we all need some power posing these days. So I first gave a version of this presentation to a group of middle school girls at Sunnyside Middle School, which I'm an alma mater. It's my alma mater, you know. A substitute librarian, a young man, had formed what he called the Lady Literary Club. And these girls were around 12, 13. And he had invited me. He was inviting guest speakers, authors, and all to come as role models and talk about books and blah, blah. And he said, you usually have an activity for the girls. So I had just read the great book, because it came out in, let's see, 14, I think, same year as Dean's Bible. I read, you know, the book, Joe Lapore's book on Wonder Woman, and absolutely loved it. And so I had gotten, that was, you know, I really didn't know a whole lot about her either until I read that book. And so I decided to do a Wonder Woman theme for these girls in their Lady Literary Club. So this is a form of it, but I expanded it for today. So, but let me show you, let me get on my, and show you a picture of me with the girls. And can you see that, I hope? There we are. They are power posing, and they are doing the Wonder Woman pose. And I just love their expressions. They were just so a delight and had such confidence, and I hope they keep that confidence, because we know how sometimes that can wane with, let me see, no, escape. All right, I'm back, I hope. Okay. So I wanted to show you, I'm wearing this shirt that let's see. I was wearing that shirt in the picture. It has a detachable cape that hooks on with Velcro. So I'm wearing that today, and I wore it to that presentation as well. I bought it online, I think. I can't remember where I got it. So I'm just reading Jill's message. Purdue has had many amazing women move the movement forward. Yeah, that's for sure. They have, for sure. And my book talks about a lot of them. So thank you for saying that. So after my book came out and Jill's book came out, a group of us, including the only living dean in the book, Betty Nelson is the last in this line, and then we're like a sisterhood, and she's right here, and she's 83 today. So we started to meet for lunch with a group that were a combination of some deans at Purdue, faculty, staff, and alumni, once or twice a year, and we called ourselves the Wonder Women. So, or Wonder Women. So yeah, and then we would have lunch, and we would sometimes people would bring little, you know, gifty items. Like one time a woman made the napkin ring like this, and I saved it. And then over the years, Betty and I have exchanged gifts, and I have my Wonder Woman cup I'm using today, and my coaster. And one of the best things that I gave her, have you seen the Wonder Woman socks? Oh, backpack Leah had with a cape. You gotta have the cape. Well, there are even socks with capes. I don't know if you've seen them. So yeah, so I have begun to appreciate Wonder Woman in the last like 5 years or so. So anyway, I saw that Teresa said she watched the TED Talk, the longer version, and I'm going to show in a minute the shorter, like 2-minute version, so that you can get the gist of Amy Cuddy's talk on body language. And she's a Harvard researcher, and she studies body language and how we judge each other because of that body language. And she states that a few simple tweaks to your body language can affect how your life will unfold. We can feel more confident and become more powerful through how we pose. So what is power and what is presence, according to Cuddy? Cuddy says that power is not about gaining dominance over others, but instead power is feeling in control, feeling more enthusiastic, more authentic, instead of letting a more fearful self take over. So I am going to play Cuddy's 2-minute, and I warn you, they like cut out pauses, and I think they actually sped her up a little bit, so it's a little, but they crammed it in there. So here we go, we'll see. Let's see. Let me go back. Okay.
So I want to start by offering you a free no-tech life hack, and all it requires of you is this, that you change your posture for 2 minutes. I became especially interested in nonverbal expressions of power and dominance. And what are nonverbal expressions of power and dominance? Well, so in the animal kingdom, they are about expanding. So you make yourself big, you stretch out, and humans do the same thing. So they do this both when they have power sort of chronically, and also when they're feeling powerful in the moment. So powerful people tend to be, not surprisingly, more assertive and more confident. Physiologically, there also are differences on two key hormones, testosterone, which is the dominance hormone, and cortisol, which is the stress hormone. We decided to bring people into the lab and run a little experiment. And these people adopted for 2 minutes high power poses or low power poses. And I'm just going to show you 5 of the poses, although they took on only 2. This is what happens. They come in, they spit into a vial. We, for 2 minutes, say, you need to do this or this. We then ask them, how powerful do you feel on a series of items? And then we take another saliva sample. Here's what we find on testosterone. From their baseline when they come in, high power people experience about a 20% increase, and low power people experience about a 10% decrease. Here's what you get on cortisol. High power people experience about a 25% decrease, and low power people experience about a 15% increase. So 2 minutes lead to these hormonal changes that configure your brain to basically be either assertive, confident, and comfortable, or really stress reactive. But the next question, of course, is, can power posing for a few minutes really change your life in meaningful ways? And so what matters and where you want to use this is evaluative situations. We decided that the one that most people could relate to was the job interview. What do you do before you go into a job interview? You do this, right? You're sitting down, you're looking at your notes, you're hunching up, making yourself small, when really what you should be doing maybe is this, like in the bathroom. Okay, so we bring people into a lab and they do either high or low power poses again. They go through a very stressful job interview. It's 5 minutes long. They are being recorded. They're being judged also. We then have these coders look at these tapes, 4 of them. They're blind to the hypothesis. They're blind to the conditions. They have no idea who's been posing in what pose. They end up looking at these sets of tapes and they say, oh, we want to hire these people, all the high power posers. We don't want to hire these people. But what's driving it? It's not about the content of the speech. It's about the presence that they're bringing to the speech. The last thing I'm going to leave you with is this. Tiny tweaks can lead to big changes. Before you go into the next stressful evaluative situation, for 2 minutes, try doing this in the elevator, in a bathroom stall, at your desk behind closed doors. That's what you want to do. Configure your brain to cope the best in that situation. Get your testosterone up, get your cortisol down, and it can significantly change the outcomes of their life. Thank you.
All right, we're back. So researchers actually call the hands on the hip pose the Wonder Woman in their research. I know, they've named it that, and so that's what she calls it. So like I said, Betty Nelson, the dean that's still around with us, and she's 83, but a go-getter, a Wonder Woman. And she told me a story when I was conducting interviews with her to write the book about taking up space. And she's a very petite woman, always has been, and has a soft West Virginia accent. And she would often be, when she was dean of students at Purdue, often be in meetings with all men. She'd be the only woman. This was in the 80s and the early 90s. And she'd be in a big, huge conference room, big conference table, and in these big leather chairs that would just engulf her. And she knew it would, make her look even smaller. So when she would go to the meeting before everybody else, she'd get there early and she would spread out her papers on the table so that she took more space. So Betty is a brilliant strategic woman, and she understood long before Cuddy did her talk, and the research probably, that taking up more space gave you more power and made you feel more confident. So I love that story. So you're probably not surprised that body language is related to gender, whether it be expansive or constrictive, and that women are much more likely to make themselves small than men. And Cuddy says in the longer version, how, you put your hand up there, that's a no, don't do that, don't put your hand on your face. And women feel chronically less powerful than men. So by power posing, standing in a posture of confidence, even when we don't feel confident, can impact our chances for success. And I would also encourage you to look up Cuddy's story. She is a Wonder Woman herself, her own personal story. I think she was 19, she was in a really bad car accident, and the doctor told her that there's no way she could go back to college. She had brain damage, and there's no way she could handle going to college. Well, luckily she didn't believe him, and she's now a Harvard researcher. So read about her, or I think she probably tells about it on a video on YouTube. So I admire her a great deal. So let me read some of your, Presence. That might be where I read about her book, Presence. That's probably where I read about her, what happened to her. Very good. I'll listen later. I haven't had time. I'm catching up here. So where you sit at the table is important too. Yes, that is very true regarding Betty's situation. So how many of you watched the 1970s TV show Wonder Woman with Linda Carter? Yeah, did you? Well, I can't say that I did. I think I was, I knew of it, but I wasn't, I didn't watch a lot of it. So, well, it aired from 1975 to 1979, and it was created during this time of the second wave of the feminist movement. And so let me show you. Well, the feminists waged major battles during this time to end discrimination against women in the workplace and increase legal rights for women. They achieved many of their goals, including extending affirmative action rights to women, securing workplace rights for pregnant women, because it used to be you'd be fired once you were pregnant, easing divorce laws, and integrating traditionally male institutions like the military. But the largest challenge that did not come to fruition, can you guess what that was? Yeah. The ERA, yes, the Equal Rights Amendment. I got this cute little, my husband made me this cute montage of Wonder Woman. Let me play this. This is like the second wave feminist, but Linda Carter, her, so there she is in all of her posing, her power poses during the second wave of the feminist movement. She had different outfits too when she was Wonder Woman, like this motorcycle outfit, and this, yeah. And of course, she's Diana Prince and as a nurse, and All right. So the Equal Rights Amendment, and you probably know a lot about it already, but as of today, 12 states have not ratified the amendment. And it simply says, equality of rights under the law shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or by any state on account of sex. I'm glad you like the montage. And it was originally authored by Alice Paul in 1923 and named then the Lucretia Mott Amendment. And in 1943, it was changed to the Equal Rights Amendment. Yeah, good news. Just in the past January 2020, Virginia became the 38th state to ratify the amendment. So yeah, very good. And so if you want to learn more about the amendment, go to equalrightsamendment.org, and there's all sorts of stuff on that. And then related to that, have any of you watched the great Hulu FX show Mrs. America with Kate Blanchett? It is about the ERA and the women for and the women against, and the main women was one woman, Phyllis Schlafly, and that's who Kate plays, and she was just nominated for an Emmy for it. And the series was nominated, I think, for some other category. So it is just really, really good. So, and you'll learn a lot about the women. I'm sure there's much more to learn. I know there is, but the series did a good job with it. So for fun, I have 2 intros that were for the series. They had like 3 different ones in the span of its existence. So the first one emphasized the comic book origination. So it shows like cartoons, and she's kind of hopping or running out of the cartoon, the real life Linda Carterman, who played Diana Prince, the secret alter ego of Wonder Woman. So I'm going to play the first intro. Okay.
Wonder Woman, Wonder Woman. All the world is waiting for you and the power you possess. In your satin tights, fighting for your rights, and the old red, white, and blue. Wonder Woman, Wonder Woman. Now the world is ready for you, and the wonders you can do. Make the heart come, stop the world with love, make a life and a
All right. Didn't you love how her eyes twinkled there? And do any of you remember Lyle Wagner, who's in it? If you're old enough, like I am, he was in the Carol Burnett variety show. And after that, he went on to be with Wonder Woman. So, so the second intro I'm going to play, it was after they had more scenes from the, the series they plugged in. So I'll play the second one, and then we can talk about her power poses. Be on the lookout for her power poses. Let's see. All right, I'll tell you. Aren't you pepped up now? Oh, to the Phyllis Schlafly there. That's probably why I don't want to watch it. Just remember, yeah, but yeah, the first, I'm reading Mona's. The first episode is solely about Phyllis Schlafly, so you get the background. I kind of felt like that too, but keep going because I love Bella Abzug and an excellent job with Bella and with Gloria Steinem. So, but anyway, the Wonder Woman. The spinning where she, puts her arms out and then she goes from Diana Prince to Wonder Woman. Well, that was Linda Carter's idea because in the comic book, she just left and then came back and she was Wonder Woman. So they needed a more of a, visual. And so that was Linda Carter's idea to do that. And so, and those big glasses she wore, I think now those are a power pose. They take up a lot of space on your face. So she was lifting cars, bending iron, punching through walls, the lasso of truth. She was running, jumping, diving, then hanging from a helicopter as it takes off. Well, Carter really did that stunt herself. Female action characters weren't common in TV and movies back then, and so they would have a man be a stunt double. So when Carter saw the stunt man with his hairy chest and his square physique, she's like, no, I'll do it myself. And they let her. And so she did that risky stunt. But when the studio executives saw it, they were scared. So then they hired a female stunt double. And then they made history, because Carter said one of the things she was the most proud of with the show was that she helped to promote a stunt women's association. Her stunt double, Jeannie Epper, was one of 20 women to found the Stunt Women's Association of Motion Pictures. So it was also aided that groundbreaking initiative. And then the theme song. So yeah, I know. I have a picture of her close up so you can see. Let me show you the picture. Yeah, there she is. I assume there's a rope tied to her some way, somewhere. So, but yeah. So, let's see. Where am I? Stop sharing. There we are. Almost lost you. Okay. And then the song lyrics, which were included in your email. I'm going to read some of those because I think they're really, I can relate to them right now. It says, all the world is waiting for you and the power you possess in your satin tights, fighting for your rights and the old red, white, and blue. Now the world is ready for you and the wonders you can do. Make a hawk a dove, stop a war with love, make a liar tell the truth. I particularly like that line. Wonder Woman, get us out from under, Wonder Woman. So inspiring for about everything I can think of today that's going on in the world. So with that, I can open up the Zoom floor to comments and questions and whatever else you'd like to say about all of that.